Galactica and her crew are in a flux, wavering between progress and decline. The ship is being repaired, but is falling apart just as it is being patched. The human techs are bickering with the Cylon crew, only to have them join together when a section depressurizes and a sixth sacrifices herself before others are sucked into space. The Galactica Brain Trust is debating a course of action. Ellen explains that Hera likely has been brought to the colony, the Cylon home, the Cylon Zion. If the war ended tomorrow, Zion is where the party would be. Lee is finding the quorum of captains isn't much better to deal with than the previous quorum. The rabble of ship's captains are eager to pick Galactica's bones clean to save themselves, and Lee is exasperated to hear them defer to Gaius Baltar instead of the Admiral, the irony of which going right over his head. Hera is a captive passenger on Boomer's space minivan from Hell, and it's not a fun trip. Boomer forgot to pack videos of Scorpia Street or any Leonis Brothers CDs, so the poor kid is screaming her head off for mommy. But Boomer discovers that Hera can do Cylon projection, and shows her the fantasy house that has been her mental retreat. Seeing Hera jump on the bed in her fabricated daughter's room seems to quell Boomer's irritation to the child. Indeed, she begins to see her in a different light. Baltar gives a sermon about angels and spots Caprica 6, but it's not the reunion he'd hoped, and she leaves. Baltar then runs into another former conquest, although he doesn't remember her at all, Starbuck. She discloses that she is literally dead, and gives Baltar her dog tags and an assignment. Use your elite science skills and figure out what the frack is going on. Anders is jacked into the Cylon data stream, and is now a glorified hybrid. Starbuck is pained to see him in that condition, and is about to end this tortured existence when he jerks to an active state and starts spewing random phrases. Right hemisphere elevating. Look, Kara, I can see you're really upset about this. Sample photon integrity. I honestly think you ought to sit down calmly, take a stress pill, and think things over. Over. You're the harbinger of death. Feed the cat. The crew figures out that Anders has begun tapping into the ship, extending control via the conductive filaments of the Cylon goop. Ty orders him unplugged before he ends up jumping the ship. Rosalind is also hooked up to machines, monitoring her deteriorating health. She has something better than a stress pill, some weed from New Caprica. She and Adama reminisce about her intention to build a cabin there, and Rosalind muses, what is home? Over CSI-like montage of microscopes and vials, Baltar runs tests on the bloody dog tags. Guilt-ridden about his dalliance with Boomer and Hera being taken, Hilo begs Adama for a raptor to search for them. But Adama tells him that she's gone and let it go. Again, recognizing the irony is not an Adama family trait. After the funeral for the human and Cylon workers, Baltar breaks doctor-patient confidentiality and announces to everyone his not-so-startling discovery. The blood on Kara's dog tags came from a dead body. Thanks a bunch, Dr. Obvious. Boomer arrives at the colony and hands Hera over to her master, who is gleeful with his prize. Fulfill your destiny and take your stepmother's place at my side, cackles Emperor Cavill to the youngster. Darth Boomer stands conflicted as Hera calls out her name. Since Leoben is spooked and Baltar was no help other than making people more freaked about her than before, Starbuck resorts to plugging Anders back in. The lights flicker as Anders comes back online. After a therapeutic session of flailing and flopping, Adama finally admits to himself that the ship is no longer his. He gives Ty the order, abandon ship. After we get drunk, that is. Roll credits.
I really think the best job in this entire episode was done by the little girl that plays Hera.
Oh, yeah, she's so good.
That was a hell of an acting job because she had to pretend that the actress that she's been working with as her mother was actually a different character.
Yeah.